I'm going to show you how I used AI to speed up my workflow, turning this into this. This interior concept was made entirely in Photoshop, with some help from AI. Now, this isn't going to be some mind-blowing unknown trick, but using AI in this way will dramatically speed up your workflow, while still keeping you in full creative control. Step 1. Concept. Every work starts with an idea. If your concept isn't clear, everything else after becomes harder. Use ChatGPT to help flesh out your setting. You should get an idea of the time of day, mood, and what lives in your world before you move on. This scene is an interior of a bicycle shop set in Vietnam around midday. The space is industrial with concrete floors, brick walls, graffiti, old signs, and rusted pipes. The inside should look something like an old garage turned into a bike shop. Once the idea feels solid, it's time to visualize it. Step 2. Visualize the concept. We need to gather some references and assets in order to bring our piece to life. I'm prompting Midjourney to establish mood, composition, and lighting. We'll also get usable assets like pipes, bike parts, and brick walls all in the same style. This will save a lot of time later on. But AI has its limits. When it comes to the more specific things, it's fast to just search for the images. I'm using Pinterest and Google Images to find more things to fill my scene, and I'm compiling everything into a mood board for easy access. The board I'm using is Miro. Organization is key to a streamlined process, so this part is important for laying everything out and having it ready to go. Once we have our board set up, we can start the making. Step 3. Set up a composition. Lay out a basic composition of your scene in black and white or simple color. You can use a photo or AI generation as the base. Set up your perspective and stitch together photos and AI with some basic painting, adjustments, and masks to blend everything seamlessly. Things closer to the foreground should reach darker blacks, whereas things further in the background should be more washed out. This gives the illusion of atmospheric depth and helps with both readability and realism. How much contrast an area has should depend on how much attention you want to draw to it. The focal point should be the place with the highest contrast, while the unimportant areas should be lower in contrast. Start to think about where you want the viewers to focus and manage your values accordingly. Step 4. Create a focal point. At this point, the general composition is set up, so we need to clearly define the focal point. Here, I'm setting up a bike in the center of the shop with a single spotlight shining down on it. This is clearly signaling that this is the area that you should look at, while everything else is secondary. The bike should be high contrast and detailed to naturally attract more attention. Every other element in your scene should either strengthen your focal point or make the scene feel more lived in. Step 5. Shadows and lighting. We've used a lot of assets that are coming from different places, so we need to manually add shadows to the environment. This strengthens the illusion of form and depth, making the scene more realistic and improving the focus. I'm using gradients to shift contrast around so that we naturally end up looking in the center. Step 6. Add a character. Characters give life and help tell a story. I generated a character in Midjourney and added him into the scene to fill up some of the empty space on the right. He's smoking, which adds mood and naturally draws attention as a secondary focal point. Add placeholders for some unimportant details and balance areas of visual noise with areas of rest. Now let's give it a pop of color. And that's the finished concept. Here I just added back the original colors, With color indexing, I limited the color range to just 64 colors for a unified palette and manually adjusted any hues that I didn't want in the final piece. So that's how I use AI to speed up my workflow while still maintaining full creative control. If you enjoyed this process, this is just the first step in learning how to leverage AI to make better art faster. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. This was my first video documenting my art process, and I'd love to hear what you think. Leave a comment below if you like or dislike this type of content, as your feedback helps me make these videos better.